you had a great weekend. And I just wanted to do a quick video. I know tomorrow it's Monday tomorrow, and I don't do videos on Monday because today was church. It's still night here, and but I'm getting this done so that in the morning it'll come on for you. The reason why I'm doing it is because tomorrow I'm going to be busy. So I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to get a video in, so I'm stopping right now to do a quick video, and then I'm just going to go rest. So here we are. And the question that keeps coming up is about picks. I've heard it from several people asking, what pick do you use? How do you hold your pick? How can I improve the way I'm using my pick? And so I thought I'd touch on that today. And if I have time, there's one other little thing I wanted to share with you. We'll see what happens when we get through this video. I'm talking fast because I want to move through this. All right, so let's talk about picks. First of all, what pick do I like? Well, I like several different types of picks, but most commonly when I'm playing, I'm using these picks here. They're called sticky grips. You see them? And what's nice about them is they look like this. They're carbon here, and they have a grip that is really neat because it'll stick to your guitar while you're playing. So if you finger style and then you go back, it's right there. And I like the carbon fiber for a number of reasons. It doesn't wear out fast. The 0.5, this is a 0.8. I don't really like this one as much, but the 0.5 is just enough stiffness to it that it gives me enough flex, and it tends to last. It does not wear out fast. So I do like them for the fact that they don't wear out very fast. They have enough flex. They're not noisy picks. You know, what I mean by that is when I'm using, like, this is a Tortex thin, and when I use this pick, you can hear the pick. I like a thin pick sometimes, but they tend to be noisy. So for that reason, I like it would be considered a thin pick, 0.5. But I like the carbon, and to me that 0.5 is more like a 0.7 or 8 in terms of how it feels and how it performs. So I think it's a little bit stiffer than 0.5, but the company calls it a 0.5. So if you want to try it out, just buy one. Don't buy the whole pack. Just get on there and get one and try it. But they're called sticky grips. But I have to warn you, the company's slow in shipping, and I don't work for them. They don't sponsor this, none of that. I just have been using their picks for a long time, and I like them. They're worth the wait. And if I have a problem with them getting to me, I send them an email, and they seem to respond pretty quickly to it and get my picks out to me. But just beware of that shipping thing. It just hasn't ended. It still seems to be slow to me. So anyway, this is called a sticky grip. It's made by Guitarnotion. And when you buy them, buy the carbon. Don't get the plastic ones, okay? Make sure it says carbon. I've made mistakes and purchased the wrong ones. Make sure you're buying the carbon ones, okay? All right, so that's that. So I like that. So then the next question that comes up, how do you hold the pick? What's the proper way? Well, I can't say one way is better than the other. I know there are several pretty accepted a couple standard ways that are pretty accepted by everyone. That if you're going to hold the pick considered, quote, right, you would hold it that way. And basically what that is they hold the pick up and down like so. And then you take your thumb and it goes right behind it like that. Okay, and it's pretty much covering like 2/3 of the pick when you do that. And then you take your pointer finger and you just bring it around and you just curl it. Now there's two different ways that people do this. One is it's holding on the side of their finger about right here. See that? And the thumb is across the back there. And another is they curl it up all the way, so it's almost like covering the whole pick. In fact, I saw once, looked, there's hundreds of there's hundreds of videos on YouTube about holding the pick. So I've looked at a few of them and saw these different ways that they do things. And this one is one that was recommended for students. Not sure why. maybe it's more stable. But anyways, I tend to think that moving that up a little bit would be just as stable and maybe a little more control. And also help them not to grip it too tight, not to be squeezing your hand. You want your hand to be loose, your thumb to be loose. You want your thumb to be in a natural position and not, not bent back and holding it real tight. So those are the two different ways. Is there one that's better than the other? I will not ever say that. I think what's best is what's best for you. Okay? If it works for you, perfect. That's great. I can't say one or the other is right or wrong. Just, find what works for you. Now, there's a third one that's out there that I saw. And actually what I do is sort of a morph off of that. It's not even quite that. It's called it's a 3-finger pick hold, where the thumb is going here, and they take 2 fingers, and the sides of these 2 fingers are right here, like so. They're holding the pick. It's like this. So it's a 2-finger. And there's some pretty famous players that use this method. And actually, what I do is close to that, but nobody ever showed this to me. I just happen to find it works for me. But I do the same thing. I hold it like so. Thumb is like that. This finger here is more, it's set up so the 2 fingers can be there. But what I do is I turn this finger up like so that this knuckle right here is backing the pick. So it looks like that rather than like that. Looks like that. See that? Do you see the difference? So it's curled like so. It's hard to do this with my fingers up so you can see it. Okay? And that's how I hold it. Whereas the other 2 fingers more like so. I'm like this. Okay? All right. So those are different ways that people hold the pick. And is it right or wrong? Again, it's what works for you. If what you're doing, the pick's falling out of your hand and you're missing the strings and you're just getting lost in the strings, take a look at what you're doing and try something else. Try one of the standard holds, maybe put the thumb and try it like so. See if that helps you. But do not hold it super tight. You're not going to be able to strum freely if that pick doesn't have some movement to it. It's got to have some movement, okay? Not this way. Okay, we don't want it moving, rotating like so, but there's got to be some play this back and forth, okay, as it goes over the strings. Okay, so hold it loosely. Okay, and don't pinch it with your thumb. Don't hold it so tight that your thumb curls in like so. You want that thumb to be natural position, holding it in place, okay? All right. So give that a try. I don't know if that'll work for you. I don't know if it answers all your questions, but that's the way I understand it. And take a look at some of the other videos. Go on there. There's a lot of them. And there's also some really good ones of people that are much more knowledgeable about the ergonomics and the physics behind why you would do it a certain way. And so if you're into that and you like listening to it, take a look. There's all kinds of information out there. Okay, so that's it about the pick. I still have a couple minutes, so let me give you one last little thing that's separate from about picks, okay? This is about a hammer-on, okay? So I'm here with my little PRS guitar. This is called the Tonere P20. I don't have it plugged in. I'm just, it does have a pickup in it, a little Fishman in it, that really sounds halfway decent, but I don't have that right. I'm just playing into a Shure microphone. And I just wanted to show you something that came, I was thinking about the other day, and I like little patterns of things. I like when I see something that it's done the same way every time. And what this is it has to do with the hammer-on. So when you play the C chord, if you hammer on your middle finger, you get a different sound than if you just play the chord. Hear that? I could play it just like this. And it's not bad. It's a C chord. Or you pick up that low G, right? But you know, it's just a C, all right? But if you hammer on with, in this case, and what I'm talking about is the use of your middle finger, okay? So keep that in mind, because that's what's going to be in common with these Hammer-Ons, is the use of the middle finger, okay? So if I use the middle finger in this C chord, doesn't that sound better? Okay, rather than just... So spice up your playing. Do that hammer-on, strike, and then when you strike it, have your middle finger up off of the C position, and then hammer it down. Okay, so there's that. Well, the interesting thing is that if you move to the G chord, right, and usually when you go to C to G, you use these two fingers to make your G chord. And it just so happens if you hammer on with the middle finger again, doesn't that sound better than... I mean, you can play those two chords like this. And that's great, but what if you do this? Middle finger. Okay, so what if you do that instead? And then, of course, let's go to the D. And what happens if we hammer on with the middle finger there? So all three of those chords, I did a hammer on, just adding... Does it work with other major chords? Yeah, it does. Listen to the E. Middle finger. Let's try the A minor. Let's try the B. Middle finger. All right, let me try the F. So all of those work with using the middle finger. The A is a little strange, I think. If you play the A chord, you can do it, but it's going from an A7 to an A. On the other hand, if you make your A chord like this, instead of like this, with these three fingers, then it works. So, when you're playing just major chords in the first position, and you want to spice it up a little bit, think about using your middle finger as a hammer-on, okay? All right. So I'm going to leave it right there, and I hope you all have a great day or night wherever you are in this world.